Good morning. I'm Kristen Powell. Welcome to our Unity of Walnut Creek service.
And I'm Brindley Rada. Welcome.
So you might have noticed our set has changed. Here we are back in our sanctuary. The only thing missing, of course, is your physical presence. But what we do have now is a skeleton crew of our production team. So in addition to John Nichols, we have videography, Sherry Dyer, and videographer, rather, Sherry Dyer, and Annie Love Villars, who's now our production manager. So let's take a look. So we're taking a break from our series this week in order to address the topics of the day, and I couldn't think of a more timely band to be with us than the musical duo, the Troubadours of Divine Bliss. We met them back at Unity of Columbia when I was the minister there. Brindley's going to tell you a little bit more about them.
So Amy and Renee were best friends in their early teens, and years later they fell in love. Starting as street performers in the French Quarter of New Orleans, they have since toured all over America, Canada, and Europe. The Troubadours have 7 recordings with an 8th in the works. They sing of our innate love, respect for the earth, human rights, and healing the heart. I am pleased to welcome our friends, the Troubadours of Divine Bliss.
Well, good morning. It is our privilege, honor, and blessing to be with the Walnut Creek community. We're so grateful for this invitation. We are Troubadours of Divine Bliss, Amy Smiley and Renee Ananda, and it is truly a great joy and absolute bliss to be with you. So we share a song and an invitation this morning. This song is called the La La Song, and it's an invitation to La La along, which is always good medicine for your spirit.
Find you smile when you look in the mirror. Laugh more when you're waiting in long lines. Look up at the infinite, feel your place in it. Look up at the infinite, feel your place in it. Let the stars walk you home and the moon kiss you goodnight. Stars walk you home and the moon kiss you goodnight. Stars walk you home and the moon kiss you goodnight. La 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 you're made of. We'll toast every rung that we've climbed on evolution's ladder. And a whisper, I love you to the whole mad world. Dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, all things can be mended. Now with time, as they say, with intention. So go love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in the darkness for your light. Broken world waits in the darkness for your light. Broken world waits in the darkness for your light. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ah, ah, oh,
Thank you, Amy and Renee, for that fun sing-along. A little levity is helpful at times like these.
Yeah, for sure.
So unity is a positive path for spiritual living. Our vision for the world is, we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness. Our mission is who we have come here to be. Let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom. If you're with us for the first time, welcome. You are invited to fill out a connection card. Connection cards are available for everyone on the Watch Live page. You may submit a prayer request and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback or request information.
Our classes are available online and also by phone, so many of you have found your way to the events and classes that we have. I want to highlight a few of those that are going on this week. We have Lessons in Truth relaunching tomorrow night from 7 to 9 with our licensed Unity teacher, Ron Salazar. And that's based on that classic Unity book by Dr. Emily Cady. So if you like a little foundational Unity right now, which is a good thing to have in our lives at any time, join Ron tomorrow night, and that 5-week class will begin. Also, please join your Board of Trustees this Thursday night for a community gathering at 7 p.m. This is an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what's going on for us here at Unity and where we go from here. We really want to hear from you, your ideas and thoughts about what's next for us at Unity. So it's going to be an important time for our community to gather. So we hope you'll find your way to us online there at 7 o'clock on Thursday.
The Spiritual Growth Circle with Veronica Wolf continues on Zoom every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Take the Sunday messages deeper with rich spiritual discussions.
And they have a lot to talk about these days.
Yes.
I heard it was great last Tuesday.
You are invited to join the Metaphysical Romp. This is a class on metaphysics hosted by Unity of Davis and taught by Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute faculty member Paul Hasselbeck. Please go to transformmyself.org and select events calendar to register. There are about 8 slots left.
Following our service today, we invite you to log onto Zoom about 12:45 for the virtual patio conversation. Prayer chaplains will be there for you to pray with you as well. Please see our website for a full listing to log on to any of our events or classes. And if you are not receiving our weekly e-news, please use the connection card on the Watch Live page to sign up and to get more information.
Now, as we prepare for our time of meditation, let's ground with our statement of faith. Let's take a deep breath together. Settling into our hearts And one more deep breath. Please join me. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
And now, as we prepare for our time of meditation, I'd like to share a familiar reading with you. It will be followed by some music by Sue K. Riley and some guided meditation in silence. So let's take a moment to drop into our hearts and to receive the words of the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is discord, harmony. Where there is doubt, where there is error, truth. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sorrow, let me bring joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in giving that we receive. And it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. And so it is. I am love. I am love. I am love. The power of love moves through me. I am made of love. Love surrounds me. Love infills me. Through the eyes of love, everywhere I look, I see possibility, potential, unison. I am free to make the choice to unleash this power of love into the universe through me and as me. And for now, I just simply recognize this powerful truth. I am one with the very heartbeat of the universe. Love moves through my being. I breathe in love and I breathe out love. It is the foundation of everything. I return to love now. In the winds of change and the seeming chaos all around me, I ground in love. I wrap myself up in the arms of divine love. And I rest, finally. Resting in love. It may have been a long journey to get to this place, but I'm here. And now there is nothing to do but to be. And so as we enter this silent time together, it is with the firm and potent knowing that I am love. Simply and profoundly love in the silence. emerging from this grounding in love, this remembrance of who I am, the I and the am meaning all this life. All this life and these different forms around me, the unique expressions of the one. The bodies, the minds, the hearts. I am love. When I take up the mantle of love and walk out into the world, into everyday life, I share it freely. The knowing, the being, the connection. For I am love, and everything around me shares in that oneness, that understanding, that knowing, the power of love to heal us, to restore us, to remind us of who we are. Grounded now once again in love, and free to make the choice to be it in the world, free to be the voice of love. Thank you, Spirit, for creating me for these times, for allowing me to be the very essence and expression of this one love. And so it is. Indeed, love. We can feel that love together. I hope that you were able to really let everything go and just steep in that love for a few moments together. In fact, there's been a lot of feelings going on, right? I don't know, these are a few that I think are in the air, and certainly ones that I've been cycling through in the last week or two. Sad, disheartened, lifted up, brought back down, weary, hopeful, uncertain, anxious, fearful, agitated, in the dark, in the light, centered, scattered. Have you felt any of those? If so, we feel together. And I wonder too if you can see what I see, because I see a star. I'm not kidding, a star shining in the night, a light that is breaking through. I see and feel a sense of hope. Could it be a glimpse of spiritual awakening? I pray it is so, and I'm pretty sure you pray with me. 2020 is supposed to be about perfect vision. And here we are in this year. I don't know about you, but it has felt pretty blurry to me. I haven't had that kind of clarity of vision, although it's starting to get a little bit clearer. And when we talk about that vision, it's not so much about getting our eyes checked here, our physical eyes, but it's a check too on that third eye. That eye that Jesus talked about is letting your eye be single so that we can see through the spiritual eye, that we can see a higher ground or a deeper place where that foundation of love is there for us. Most of us, save maybe the infectious disease folks, would not have foreseen a pandemic. And most of us, I'm guessing maybe all of us, wouldn't have imagined that people all around the world in every shade of the rainbow would begin to speak out in unison that Black lives do indeed matter. And that is what is happening now. It took 401 years for voices, this many voices, enough of a critical mass to begin to shift the tide, to begin to change what needs to be changed, what has needed to be changed for so long. So when we talked about spiritual awakening happening during this pandemic, would you have ever guessed it would look like this? Nobody knew, right? None of us knew. And yet here we are at the precipice of real spiritual awakening and real societal change, where the values that we say we believe in, the ideals of democracy and the values of spirituality begin to align. You know that pledge that we all take, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That pledge? It feels a little truer now, a little more possible than it did. Who would have known that yet another black man would have been killed by police and all of this would have happened in response? That a police officer would have kneeled on a man's neck for 9 minutes and we were in the middle of a pandemic where we weren't all so busy running here and there that we actually stopped and felt and listened and demanded change. We couldn't make this stuff up. We couldn't align these things. There's no way we know when something happens and we say, ain't it awful, that we can see the whole picture. And so there is good emerging. There are possibilities emerging from great tragedy. So now we might see with a little clearer vision than we saw just yesterday. Now we might be able to cast our eyes into a kind of future that we may not have dared imagine even a few days ago. You know, the Beatles said, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one." And certainly we are together, united across the world. It's really heartening for me to see the goodness of people. You know, that the goodness of humanity is on display all around the world, that protests have become more and more peaceful throughout this week. People know how to be true to the divine in us, to walk that talk. So there's a sense of oneness, a sense of seeing that oneness. There's a sense of knowing that it is all for one and one for all, truly, that we are talking about now. The troubadours sing about it beautifully. So let's take a little break and watch.
Everyone is aching. Can you hear the breaking chains? Rusted by the tears from years being caged. You can change the story. You can dream the dream. You can be the fury or the peace that sets us free. Hear the call. Look around. We are a part of a global uprising. We are a cry from the heart. We won't build, we'll break down all the walls. Hear the call, hear the call, hear the call. All for one and one for all. All for one, one for unstoppable. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are winning. This is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. We are a
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Do not be afraid. Love. There were a lot of lines in that song I enjoyed, but those really resonated. And that's a carrying forward of the message for all of us. You know, back in biblical times, astrologers were the wise ones and the seers of the day. The wise men who followed the Star of Bethlehem to the birth of Jesus were astrologers, we're told. And you know that story I told a couple weeks ago about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It was an astrologer, a seer of the day, who could see from a couple provinces away that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were not falling down and worshiping the golden statue that the king had ordered them to do. And so the astrologer tattled on them. And you know the story then. They were thrown into the fiery furnace for not being willing to obey the king's orders, and they were untouched because the presence of God was with them. And so when we are called to do the right thing, to stand in truth, even though it might be difficult, of all times we become acutely aware of that presence that is with us, that carries us through, that gives us the courage to go on. So I was curious, what do the astrologers of this day, of today, what did they say about 2020? And I looked at some different sources and found quite a bit of overlap from various different angles. And so I wanted to share some of this with you because it seems pretty right on and helpful for our time. First of all, in the Chinese zodiac, which comes from ChineseZodiac.org, it is the year of the rat. And so the rat is the first in the zodiac sign, so it is representation, is newness, and the year of renewal is a part of what it represents for us through the Chinese New Year. They say that 2020 will be a quite challenging year, especially health-wise and also financially. No kidding. That there will be obstacles and unpredictable situations. But here's the good news. They say the second half of the year is going to be much better. People will be forced, they say, to fight for their rights during this time of 2020. And remember that nothing worthy is ever easy. During the second half of the year, health will be much improved. Energy and zest for life comes back in full force. Yay, God. It may be difficult to make decisions, they predict, in the year of the rat, but don't let that cloud your mind and your soul. Trust your intuition. Now here's another vote for trust from Angels 2020, looking at the number as an angel number. Things will definitely change in your life, and you might not be happy about it at first. I swear I'm not making these things up. Trust your guardian angels and let them lead the way, and you will see purpose. Another vote for trust, to trust that innate wisdom, to trust that knowing inside of us. It guides us to take action, to speak in a certain way, to stop, to rest, to go within, to refill, whatever it is that we need. If we just stay attuned to that, we will know exactly what to do. And we will have a sense that we are not alone, that the presence of God is walking with us like it was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego through the fiery furnace. Unscorched, untouched. And then finally, I saw the year of 2020 is super unique in numerology, and this is why. And this is by the Astro Twins, who've been touted on all kinds of things like New York Times and Good Morning America and other media outlets. This particular article comes from mindbodygreen.com. And they say in numerology, so numerology, you take all the numbers and you add them up as single digits. So it gives us a sense of what is the universal feel of the year. And so this year's universal energy is 4. And the Astro Twins tell us this about 4. They said that life might be a bit weighty as a worldly energy moves for us. However, it's a call for long-term goals and goal setting, and also a call for leadership with integrity, for all of us to lead with a sense of integrity. So there are some ideas of how we can show up in this universal 4 year. And they are kind of our tried and true things, but I think they're worthy of reminding ourselves over and over again. One of them is to slow down, which I think for many in the pandemic, not all, because I know there's certainly many frontline workers and others who have been, very much called into action day after day. But there are many who have also had the opportunity to slow down a little bit more, to breathe, to have a little bit more spaciousness, maybe more time to pray and to ground. And we can always, even if we are very busy, find those times throughout our day to do that. It's always important, but it's super important in times like these where it feels like the winds of change are constant. It was pretty interesting that it was windy here for several days too, because it just felt like that just added to the whole experience all around us, these hard winds that blew things off of our roof and all kinds of things, that probably at your house too. So one is to slow down, to stay present. Another is to know that there may be limitations and delays. Change can be slow and it can be hard, especially changing old systems and ways of being that don't work for us anymore. And so just to recognize that, to be in the divine flow, to trust the divine order that is here for us, that supports us through the process. Another is to be willing to keep working through the issues, even when it's challenging. And the Astro Twins specifically mention that this year, issues of race and equality, gender, climate, economy, the whole soup, right, will emerge to be evaluated, though, by all of us worldwide. that this will be a real year for us to look at these big issues and evaluate together. Remember, it's a year of long-term planning and leadership with integrity. So this is all a part of that working together for us. And that they say that with the tenacity of a 4, we might just make headway, healing some of the divisiveness and disparity in our world. So I know it's difficult during these times sometimes, but to know that we both have that power of the heart, the power of love, the power of divinity that grounds us and comforts us and refuels us, and also that power of wisdom. In our 12 Powers teachings, these two are tandem powers. And the power of wisdom is that innate knowing that we do know what is ours to do. We may not know in any given moment. We may ask the question. But if we drop in, we'll know in this moment and next moment and maybe tomorrow or next week, what is the direction in which we are being called to go. So, I've not had much experience in things like advocacy and activism, but this week I was really called to go out and speak twice publicly on behalf of Black lives and change that is needed. And did I do it perfectly? No way. Did I make mistakes, say things I didn't exactly mean to say exactly that way? Of course, and then we get busy in our little critical minds. And so I want to encourage you to have courage, to take heart, to step out, to be willing, to allow ourselves to be uncomfortable if that's how we feel called. And to know that it is because we have our hearts in the right place and we have this divinity in us that will guide us, that it's all going to be okay. It's not about us anyway. It's about a much bigger movement, a much greater shift universally. It can happen. It is happening. It will happen. And you will find your way as to how you fit into that. Maybe it's more prayer, and maybe it's sending out blessings or visualizations. Maybe it's getting out in the front lines of protests and speaking up or helping change things from a governmental standpoint. The voices of faith are needed to make societal change. That I know for sure. It makes a big difference when together there is a banding of people of faith leaders to speak out, because that's a voice of morality, a voice of holding up these values we hold dear that people can hear through that lens. And so I invite you to consider what is yours to do as a person of faith, a person who believes in, if the faith that you believe in is human potential, that's something to believe in. Or if it's believing in a greater God, a source, a sense of us being a part of that, like our principles in Unity, where the first principle is God is my source, and or God is our source, and the second is that we are divine, that we are made in the image and the likeness of that source, and that we channel and embody that truth, that divinity, that power, that love, that wisdom. We all have something valuable to offer right now. So I want to encourage you to search your heart and your soul and to find what is yours to do, and then to just do it. It may be clumsy, it may be messy, you make mistakes. You know what? People would rather have you speaking out on their behalf and making mistakes than staying quiet. And so that is a huge piece. I heard Al Sharpton say in the memorial service that he did for George Floyd that what did he say exactly? He said that people say they want peace, but they really want quiet. And so we need to know the difference. And peace can sometimes come in a loud way. And it is. And it's here. And it's happening. So another thing that we can do is and it's really important during these times, is to keep implementing good wellness and spiritual practices, to keep, nurturing ourselves through prayer, through meditation, through eating good food, through drinking plenty of water, through exercising. You know how to take care of yourself. We need to take care of ourselves. That's really an important piece through all of this. And also to listen deeply to ourselves, to the divinity within us, and to each other. Try listening without judging or bantering back your opinion. Try listening from that deeper place with your whole self, not just with your ears, but your whole being, your heart and your soul and your whole being. When we listen in that way, we become like an open sieve. It's a whole different kind of listening. We look with a softer focus. And you can literally intend and do this by softening your focus when you're looking at others. And when we soften our focus, we see more. And we see, actually, a lot of times it's easier to see the divinity and the energy field that is there for somebody when we just soften our focus a little bit. And then finally, almost finally, don't cling to the old ways, because the old ways are dying out. Remember the Hebrews had to, to get into the land of Canaan, the old generation had to die off. The old ways are dying off, and it may, because it's familiar and comfortable, we may want to reach back and cling and bring them back. But some of those old ways are destructive. Some of those old ways are counterproductive. We have an 18th century police force, I heard Sharif Abdullah say this week, and we have military tactics there that it just isn't working. It doesn't make all the police officers bad. It makes a system that needs to change. We need to look at all of our systems, one at a time, maybe. One's here for us to look at now, and so that's where the energy is. And that is following the divine flow, when we follow where the energy is, and then ask, where's our place in this flowing divine energy that's present for me now? And lastly, to come back to the big picture over and over. And what is the big picture? Love. Love. To ground ourselves in love, to steep ourselves in love, to in whatever ways that works for you. Yesterday I had to lay upon the earth. I had to get grounded to the earth and try different things. I sat before my altar and I could feel all this emotion happening. And this morning, as I sat before my altar, finally some break of emotion let me release, some of what had been built up in me the last few days. And so all of us are different. All of us are unique in the ways that we will express and find ourselves and our footing here. But love is that universal principle. Love is that thing that if we come back home again and again to the heart, we can just feel ourselves infilled, enfolded, surrounded by, and buoyed up by the power of love. So if nothing else, to steep ourselves just for a few moments in breathing in love. I am love. I am loved. I am the very expression of love. Whatever affirmation might work for you, but just to be in that can do wonders for us, to place us in that flow of divine love. And then to feel a sense of protection in that as we move about the world and step out maybe and do things we might not have dared to do before. The world needs us. Black and brown people need white people right now, and vice versa. We need each other. That's always a big part of who we are in unity. It's our namesake, unity. It's our namesake, to be unified, to be connected, to be a force of love together, not a force of fear, and to help make a police force that is based in love and protection, not fear. We can do this. We can make a difference. Get educated, come to understand, and speak out. So in conclusion, I'd like to use a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., of course. It's always good to invoke Martin Luther King Jr., especially when a new round of civil rights movement is happening. And he said that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Only light can do that. The kind of light by which we now can see more clearly, an illumination of liberty and justice for all. And he also said that hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And so it's the kind of love that we drop our anchor into, the divine love that buoys us up, that allows us to keep moving forward and to feel the energy that channels through us. It becomes a seamless flow rather than a weary walk when we are anchored and steeped in that kind of love. Our fears may end up being revealed as unfounded in the presence of that love, and hate certainly will fade away. So let's walk together, let's ground in divine love together, let's follow that inner light. I want to close out with two things. One, an affirmation we can speak together, and then also a prayer from Silent Unity. So first, let's speak our affirmation for this week together. I ground in divine love, I follow divine light. I ground in divine love, I follow divine light. And from Silent Unity, our international prayer ministry, which you can call anytime, 1-800-NOW-PRAY, and get somebody to pray with you on the line. They offer this prayer, and I thought it would be nice to close out with it too, because it certainly feels appropriate for our time. So together, let's speak this as well. In the midst of pain, I affirm healing. In the midst of broken hearts, I affirm love. God is the presence of peace that knows no bounds. That's the truth. So it is.
Thank you, Kristen. What I know is we are winning and we will overcome. Thank you for your message. Hope and renewal. Whether you have a joy or concern on your heart today, our prayer chaplains are available to provide prayer support during our virtual patio conversation after the service. You may also contact them by phone and email. Please complete a connection card on the Watch Live page or click on prayer requests at the bottom of the home page. Our prayer team will be praying with you throughout the week. Now, let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Our spiritual home thrives with your continued generosity. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature. In addition to sending checks through regular mail or direct deposit from your bank, there are two ways to give online. You may click on the Donate Live button on the Watch Live page or download the Give app. Give is spelled G-Y-V-E. I invite you to repeat our prosperity affirmation with me together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
For the stars, everything I need is in me. Take me far. I'm bolder than I know, wiser than I show, more mighty than I seem, more worthy than I believe. Be wise, be true, be good, be peace, be free. Free your dream. destiny. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Step up, sing out, stand out, dance wild. Live it, give it, dream and scheme. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives and be loved. And be loved. There is something wonderful within us, shining, unique souls full of stardust, here to show off God's imagination, here to be our ultimate creation. Be wise, be true, be good, be fierce, be free. Free your dream and your destiny. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Step up, sing out, stand out, dance wild. Live it, give it, dream and scheme. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives and be loved. And be loved. For the stars, everything I need is in me. Take me far. I'm bolder than I know, wiser than I show, more mighty than I seem, more worthy than I believe. Be wise, be true, be good, be fierce, be free. Free your dream and your destiny. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Step up, sing out, stand out, dance wild. Live it, give it, dream and scheme. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives and be loved. And be loved. Let's make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives and be loved. And be loved. Be loved. Be loved. Be
Thanks again to the Troubadours of Divine Bliss today for offering us their music. If you want to learn more about them, or perhaps you want to support them and purchase their music, you can go to troubadoursofdivinebliss.com. And now, as we bless our offerings, we certainly bless all of you, giving big thanks for the consciousness of unity that you hold in the world, for the love and the light that you bring to the world, and for the gifts that you give to our ministry that continue to prosper us and allow us to do the work that we do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's bless our offering together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now.
And today we're going to bless our frontline activists. Frontline activists, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
So now it's time to have the children present for us, and we've got something really special for you this week. Michelle Chikala, who's our Youth and Family Ministry Director, and her two adorable children, Maddie and Millie, have a special video to show us what they've been up to in the Zoom calls on Sunday mornings with the kids. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, Michelle here with Maddie and Millie, the 3 M's, and we miss you. And we just wanted to share with you what we've been up to on Sundays with the kids on Zoom. We just started a new series, The Sacred Elements. And do you girls want to share what the sacred elements are?
Earth, air, fire, water, spirit.
That's right. And we did air last week, and we're going to do fire this week. And what are some things that you think of when you think of air?
Bees, butterflies.
Yeah, what about you, Millie?
Fairies, birds, birds.
Fairies and birds, butterflies, bees, the wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw some cool kites the other day. And the most important thing about air, well, one of the most
breath.
is our breath, the breath that supports us all day long, all night long, without us even thinking about it. So we're going to share with you a simple meditation to help you connect with your breath this week whenever you want to just slow down and ground yourself. So this is called flower breath. So let's show them how we do it, okay, girls?
Okay.
So we'll invite you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine a beautiful flower right in front of your face. And you can see the color of its petals. And we want to smell this flower. So let's smell our flower and take a deep breath in. Ready? And out. And one more time, we're going to smell our flower. Ready? Deep breath in. And out. Ooh, okay. What did your flower smell like, Maddie?
Bubble gum, and it was a rose that was pink.
Wow, bubble
Pink rose that
gum.
smelled like bubble gum. Mine smelled like a little bit of everything because there was a whole bunch of fairies and it was rainbow.
Rainbow, and it smelled like everything. Wow. So that's a really great tool for us when you're feeling overwhelmed or you just want to slow down a little this week. We invite you to connect with the sacred air and do some flower breathing. Right, girls?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it from us. We love you, Unity. We love you. We miss you, and we bless you. Let's send them some love. Ready? We love you. Bye, everyone.
If you are not overwhelmed by cuteness and love at this point, thank you so much, Michelle and girls, and let's bless our children and teachers together. Together, children and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. Please join us now in saying our prayer of protection, and let's just cast it throughout the whole world, knowing that all of us are safe in God together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. So it is.
Stick around until the end of the service. We have community member selfies that you won't want to miss. And we want to see you too. So please send your silent waving videos to officeofunityofwalnutcreek.org.
Office at Unity of
Office
Walnut
at.
Creek.
And now our peace song.
You are the light and the love and the peace on earth right now.
So let your light shine.
And have fun and
spread
spread joy. Blessings, everyone.